Hi, my name is Lydia and welcome to this channel. If you're new here, and you probably are because this is my very first video, this channel is for us navigating transition. Big ones, quiet ones, visible ones, and sometimes the kinds that no one really prepares you for. And those are many. Well, I've lived many identities across many countries, across careers, and seasons of life as well. And for a long time, I thought to myself there might have been something wrong because some transitions were very difficult to deal with. It turns out I was actually just becoming over and over again. So many times we go through different stages, You're a child, then you become a teenager, then you become an adult, a young professional, then you move up the ranks in the organization, then maybe you move jobs, you probably get married, maybe get children, you're parenting a child, maybe a teenager, maybe an adult. All these are very many other transitions. Sometimes you lose someone, but you just never know how to process them or even how to name them. Let me tell you a little about who I am and why I'm here. I was born and raised in Kenya. I moved to the United States as a lawyer and international development professional. Along the way, I became a wife, a military spouse, a mother, and later a non-profit founder, which is what I'm currently doing. And these roles, they didn't arrive neatly or sequentially. Some of them overlapped, some collided, and at times completely reshaped how I understood myself. Each transition required some kind of adaptation. But what no one really warned me about was that the identity cost of constantly adapting would be high. So at one point, the accumulation of those transitions caught up with me. I became deeply depressed. I ended up going back to Kenya, not because I had failed, but because I needed to remember who I was beneath those titles, the expectations, and the survival mode that I found myself constantly on. Well, that moment became a turning point. It forced me to ask deeper questions. Who am I when everything familiar shifts? How do you move forward without erasing yourself? And why do so many capable people struggle during transition? And that took me down a deep journey, personal journey. I found myself. I found the things that drive me. I found that I've lived through life through many transitions that I just hadn't dealt with, and certain life-changing events as well. So it took me some time to get where I am today. And because I am generally just a knowledge multiplier, I don't want to die one day knowing that I really wanted to share my experiences, my life, and some things that I've learned across my life without sharing them. So if you ask and you want to know, the reason this channel exists is because most advice about change truly is incomplete. Because we always assume that you're starting from zero. But most of us in transition really isn't starting from zero. We are starting from some experience, something going into another thing, or something leaving something behind, but it's just a continuous process. So here we will be talking about identity during transition, navigating change without losing yourself, making sense of in-between seasons. I've been through quite a few of those. Integrating past experience into what is coming next. Building clarity when life no longer fits old labels, You moved into a new country, a new job. Things have changed. So we're not going to be hustling or talking about reinvention or quick fixes here. Here it's about grounding while we are becoming. which we all always are. So if you've moved new countries, careers, roles, this place is for you. If you're navigating relationships, marriage, leadership, parenthood while you're trying to stay yourself, this place is for you. If you're rebuilding after loss, burnout, or identity disruptions, this place is for you. Or you're in a season where the old version of you no longer fits, but the next one is probably not yet clear. This place is for you. You don't really have to be in crisis to be here. Transition is enough. Now on this channel, I will share some grounded reflection from lived experience, practical language, and some frameworks for transition here and there. I'll be having conversations about identity, leadership, and belonging, tools to help us forward with clarity and intention. Just a disclaimer, some videos will be reflective, some will be practical, some will name things we don't say out loud often enough. Well, not everything will be polished, still trying, but it will be honest, it will be thoughtful, and it will be rooted in reality. So if you're in a season of transition, personally or professionally, you're welcome here. Please don't feel like you're behind or broken. You're just becoming. So if this resonates, I invite you to stay, subscribe, leave a comment, or simply watch at your own pace. Thanks for being here. I'm glad you found us.